I don't want y'all to be so fixated on the outcome. I think that you need to take time and process the journey and process the path. Process the path, because when you get so fixated on, let's say comparison, I want to say comparison, but when you get so fixated on what your the end goal, you can sometimes be, you'll lack, you got to enjoy the journey. And I've said this plenty of times, like, once you get to the goal, you're not going to appreciate it as much if you didn't appreciate the journey. You have to appreciate the journey. So um not comparing yourself to the people you see online, and especially in this day and age we grew up in. Well, I grew up in a place where you didn't really, everything wasn't online for everyone to see. You knew people based on their surface level. Now everyone just posts everything online. So don't compare yourself to what you see online. Take the motivation. I've said it before. Take the motivation from what you see online, but don't compare yourself, because there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. It's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and you don't want to wish, oh, our relationship goals or career goals and everything. You don't know what that person did to get to where they are. But you gonna know what you're gonna do to get to where you are. You're gonna know the long nights, the sleepless nights, the waking up early and getting up and just going to get it. Getting up and going and get it, keeping that motivation. And in that motivation, appreciating the fact that you have the time to do it. Appreciate the fact that your hard work is gonna pay off. Trust me, it's gonna pay off. This is episode 41 of 100 Simple Life Truths. And I said it in the beginning of episode 40, which I just recorded literally right before I'm recording this one. It is 10:37 August 28th, 10:37 a.m. August 28th. I've transcended. I've literally, I feel like I've had an epiphany. I figured out a lot of things, and I'm stopping myself from giving away too many details on what I've realized, but I'm gonna slowly put those out there, because like I said, I want my people to have the same appreciation as I do. I want rich friends, and I'm not talking about money. I'm definitely not talking about money. I'm talking about who you are, your spirit, your mind, your body, soul. Sometimes the direction that matters, not the goal, because we could all have the same goal, but what direction? How are you gonna cut corners to get it done, or are you gonna do it the right way? Do it the way that is worth doing. Cutting corners, you definitely not gonna appreciate the outcome. And I'd rather have lost time. I'd rather have not necessarily lost time, but I guess I'd rather put the time in the work in. I'd rather put the time in the work in. I'm not a gratitude now type of person. I want everything to come when it's ready for me. This is 100 Simple Life Truths, episode 41. It's titled "Sometimes We Need to Suffer." And it's crazy because that is literally the epitome of my quote. And I read it at the end of episode 41, and I can read it again. Or I can just ad lib it. He basically says, the pain, the suffering that we're going through is the breaking of the shell that is our understanding. Which means, as we learn more about ourselves, as we're understanding more of the world, is going to be painful, because our understanding is expanding, and sometimes the truth is hard. So it's the breaking of the shell. And then it goes on to say that the remedy is the doctor inside of you is going to make sure that you're fine. So what you need to do is let the shell continue to break and take the remedy that yourself is giving you in peace and tranquility. So don't take the pain, and don't worry, because you're going to heal from it. You're going to grow from it. You're going to expand. You need to grow in order to go. If you're not growing through it, you can't go through it. So just stay focused. Trust me, stay focused. I'm gonna read it verbatim at the end of this episode, but the title is "Sometimes We Need to Suffer." Sometimes we need to suffer. Let's get right into it. It goes, I read about this couple who committed suicide. They ran a self-help motivational radio show called The Pursuit of Happiness. which heavily promoted positive thinking. Though the motivation behind their suicide is unknown, the article used them as a siege to discuss the potential dangers of subscribing to that mindset. It's interesting because I've recently subscribed to all positivity in, all negativity out. The mindset, I am the light, I breathe the light, I magnify the light, I am the light. The light comes from me, I cast no shadows, right? So The Pursuit of Happiness was a motivational radio show which heavily promoted positive thinking, and the people that ran that show ended up committing suicide. It's interesting to think about. It's even though he says the reason they committed suicide is unknown, it's still very interesting, because how can someone or some people that are promoting positivity committing suicide, which is like negative? How is that possible? It's because, like I said, what's going on in the forefront may not be indicative of what's going on in the back. That sounds crazy. It might not be, you know what I mean? You never know what people are going on outside of social media, outside of what they display, outside of their radio shows, outside of their movies. Look at Robin Williams. He displayed himself as a happy person. He committed suicide as well. So don't wish to be like somebody, right? Don't wish to be like someone, because you don't know the pain that's really going on in their life. You could want their accolades and want to enjoy the process. You may see a millionaire and say, oh, I want $1 million. The way they got their $1 million may not be the way you go get your $1 million. You know what I mean? So take the positive, spit out the negatives. But I'm interested to see where this goes. He says, I'm using that story to segue because I read about it. What? Okay. So now it's going to inspire my own reflection. I'm having my own struggles with staying positive. Note the present tense, and it shows down my productivity, creativity, and my overall ability to be in the company of others, which is true. I believe sometimes I had periods in my life where I was like struggling to be positive, and now it's more of who I am than what I was trying to be. Because sometimes a lot of people, they have to actively want to be positive. Me, it's my default now. It's become my default. And of course I have my moments where I can bask in negativity, I can be negative. That's just human nature, to be realistic. But I feel like now it's easier for me, I guess. It's not really my main function, my main nature, but it's easier for me to stay on the positive side. I wouldn't say easily, but I can switch it on and off. And I prefer to keep the positivity on. So, and that goes into wanting to be around people. Some people, for me, from my personal experiences, like when I'm in a negative mood or I'm just in a neutral mood and I get around like people, and it doesn't have to be anybody in particular, I'm more keen to get into a negative space than a positive space, because just the way I am, just my relationship with space in general, I'm very particular about my space and having people in it. So that's for me personally. I don't know what it is for you guys, or I don't know what it is for this guy, but yeah, struggling. If you're struggling to stay positive, I don't think I have any remedies for that. I don't think I have any remedies for that. It's you can listen to this series though. You can listen to this series, even though some episodes may be negative. The overall premise and the overall goal is positivity. So you can take the good and spit out the bad. Take what applies and let the rest fly. So he goes on to say, it sometimes feels like when you think positive, there's another voice that fires back immediately with negative thoughts. And that voice feels a whole lot more familiar and sure of itself. That's not something you can deny anyway. That's true. In the beginning, when I first started this, I had a negative mindset, and it was a battle. It's a good battle too. It's a good fight. And I still have it though. And I still have the battle in terms of I'm sitting here thinking positive, and like the negative thing always comes out. And what I do is I try not to live things twice. I try not to live things twice, especially if I try not to live negativity twice, because that's how you age quicker. I want to continue to look good. So I try not to live things twice. So I don't really worry about too much. Um and a lot of people start calling me Zen. They call me Zen, and I'm like, I'm just unaffected by a lot of things, especially at work. Like, that doesn't affect me at all. I don't bring this job home. When I'm there, I'm there. When I'm like doing whatever else I'm doing in life, I'm putting my full attention to that. So I don't focus on anything that's going on in my job. Even when I'm there, to be honest, I'm just so detached. Like, everything, I feel like everything is gonna work out, because not only of the person that I am, but also if it doesn't work out, so who cares? Who cares? Doesn't matter. He goes on to say, where was I? He goes on to say, finding something to appreciate and having positive outlooks are important, but becoming idealistic and hoping for fairy tale endings require much more self-convincing and will wear off quickly, resulting in bitterness. Yeah, I think we should all be more realistic, because we could all have the fairy tale, the whole fairy tale outlook on our lives. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. But if you don't have tangible steps to how you're gonna achieve what you want to achieve, and you're just hoping and wishing and you praying, or you feel like you just deserve what you want, and you're not actually putting the work towards it, then that's what a fairy tale is. It goes for anything. If you, like, for me right now, I want to finish school, but I'm working every day towards it. I want to buy a plane, but I'm working every day towards it. I want to buy a boat, but I'm working every day towards it. I was gonna say I want to have kids and get married, but I'm not necessarily working every day towards that. So that's it's kind of fairy tale. It's kind of fairy tale, but not necessarily. So just the things that you want, or the things that you desire, you need to work towards those every single day, even if you're only putting 5 minutes a day towards getting one step closer towards that. 1% better, 1% closer towards your goal is better than idling. Better than idling. You can't learn to drive in a parked car. You cannot learn to drive in a parked car. So start moving. And you may fail. You may turn on the ignition and drive straight into the car in front of you. But that's a lesson. Now you know, before you turn on the ignition and before put the car into drive, or whatever the case may be, you check your surroundings, you brake check and do everything that you need to do before you actually head on the road. And then once you're on the road, you start picking up that momentum, and then sooner or later you get to your destination. But you're gonna have some mistakes. It may be some detours on that road. Maybe some detours. You may hit a pothole. Then you gotta go change your tire. You know what I'm saying? You might get stuck behind a big truck. You might get complacent on the highway and get highway hypnosis and just fall asleep and crash. You know what I mean? You gotta keep that goes into keeping the excitement in your life. Don't live so much into the future that you don't enjoy the present. Don't live so much in the future that you don't enjoy the present. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. As you driving down that road, take in the sights. Look at the big buildings. Look at the mountains. Look at the people walking. You know what I mean? Look at the animals crossing the road, or whatever the case may be. Look at the sky. Look at the different cloud formations. Pay attention to the license plates in front of you. Every little minute detail is it's what's going on now. Yeah, you're gonna get to your destination sooner or later. You're actively going to your destination, but enjoy the journey as you want it. Enjoy the journey as you want it. Stop, get some snacks. Eat your favorite snacks as road trip. You know, I hope that makes sense to you. I do. I really do. I try to put everything in like the most simplest terms, in the these analogies. Someone complimented me on my analogies the other day, and it's like, yeah, I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to see it, and it's a growth. This is episode 41. It's a complete difference on how I communicated in episode 1 to how I communicated in episode 41. And this is all part of the journey. And I'm enjoying the journey, but I know my end destination. I know the reason I started this. I hope y'all know the reason y'all listening. And I hope y'all growing on this journey along with me. I'm enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying every step to the things that I am working towards. I enjoy reading up about the aircraft that I want to buy. I enjoy reading up on cybersecurity and criminal justice, and knowing that this is the field I'm going to be in, and knowing what my job entails. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Anyway, he goes on to say, I guess I need to remind myself that emotions are all important, even the negative ones. And instead of trying to scream over them and with pseudo positive mantras, I should be quiet, listen, and pay attention to what they're saying, then have the conversation. Correct. Correct. Goes into another quote. I don't know if this correlates 100%, but it goes into a quote where they say you got to become the monster and then you learn to control it. And I was telling somebody it's kind of like the Hulk. The Hulk becomes the monster, and it took him some time to control it, but now he's in control. The Hulk is just Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Just so you guys know. Just so you guys know. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Look it up. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Look it up. Or don't. I don't know. It's up to you. But yeah. Yeah, it's don't negate your feelings. Some things are inherently negative, and you got to have the negatives to have the positive. It's they work in tandem with each other. You will want more positive than negative, but nothing could be positive without something negative to compare it to. So I agree. Instead of trying to scream over your pseudo positive mantras, just be quiet, understand. Let the negative be there. But understand it. Understand why it's there, where it's coming from, and then you can figure out how to get rid of it. You can figure out how to get rid of it. You're not gonna be in a place and see a fish and then go try to drown it. You got to understand what that fish is, or what it is. You can't drown a fish. You got to kill negativity the way negativity needs to be killed. And sometimes that's not with positivity. It's going to sound crazy, but sometimes negativity needs to be killed with negativity. And then you keep getting a lesser negativity until you can kill it with positivity. And it sounds crazy. I know how it sounds, but in my head it makes sense. It's like when someone says, you get in a car, you get in a car, you get in a car. You know, it's I don't know the literary term for it, but it's a literary device. I don't know what it is, or maybe I'm just making something up, but it makes sense. You need to kill negativity with negativity until you get a lesser negativity to kill with positivity. I don't know. I don't know. It's just how I feel. It's just what I think, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Let me know if y'all agree, or let me know if y'all know the literary device, if it even is a literary device. If it's not, I don't know. Just correct me. Correct me in the comments. I like to be corrected. I like to learn, and correction is learn. Correction, when you get corrected, you learn something, and even the correction may be wrong, but it's still something that you learn. You still get another angle. Anyway, let me continue. People, he goes on to say, people can make a lot of money promising to liberate you from suffering, but suffering is the key reason we evolve and improve our situation. It's not in our nature to be at peace. That's why first world problems exist. Once your basic needs are met, you make up a bunch of new ones to be sad about, which is 100% true. There will always be negativity. There will always be something to complain about. Always. But are you going to let that negativity consume you? Are you going to bask in the negativity, or are you going to bring out positive? And like I said, you'll never be 100% full positive, because without negativity, there is no positive. You need something to compare it to. And this is also why you need to enjoy the journey. Because he says, as we improve our situation, it's not in our nature to be at peace. So once you say your goal is to be at peace, and you're working towards it, you're doing whatever it is that you need to do to get peace. Once you get that version of peace, you're going to end up with different problems, and now you're back on a journey, because the journey never ends. The journey never ends. I forgot the quote. It's he who thinks he's right, he who thinks the journey is over, and he who thinks the journey has just begun are both right. Because if you think the journey is over, fine. That's your problem. And he who knows that the journey never ends, this is literally not the quote. I just made this up. I didn't make it up, but the quote is, he who thinks he's right and he who thinks he's wrong is both correct. But I changed it into, he who thinks the journey is over, he who thinks the journey is not over is both correct. So yeah, I understand. So enjoy the journey, because once the journey ends, once you get to that destination, and we could go back to the car analogy, once you make it to that destination, guess what? Now you got to drive back, or now you got to drive to a different destination, because you're not going to stay stagnant where you went. You're not going to stay stagnant there. You may take a road trip from the east to the west, and then once you're in the west, it's like, okay, cool. Now let me go north. Let me go south. Let me go somewhere else. The journey doesn't stop at each checkpoint. It's just continuous checkpoints, and then a new journey starts. So once the basic need of getting to that destination is met, you're gonna make up a new destination. You're gonna come up with a new destination. You're gonna do something else, and the journey starts all over again. He goes on to say, for better or worse, our feelings change with time. Change is the promise. We all fall into funks, and we should take a little solace in remembering that we're not alone. We just think we are. We're not alone. We just think we are, and take some solace into that. Feelings change for better or for worse, and that's a promise. 100%. Your feelings could change day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour. Sometimes I'm at work and I hate the job completely. In other minutes, I'm just like, this is pretty cool. It's chill. I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. There's nothing serious about it. Other days I'm home and I'm like, I need to go out. I need to do something. Then I'll go out and then I'm like, I should have just stayed home. So your feelings are changing, and that's one thing that's promised. Change feelings and death. Change feelings and death. He goes on to say, it's okay to have a bad day. Agreed. 100% agreed. Bad days make the good days even better, because you need something to compare it to. You need something to compare it to. You can't say you had a good day if you never had a bad day. It's like the stock market. I'm not going to keep going into analogies, but it's like the stock market. I've had amazing days where I've made $2,000-$3,000 in a day. And I've had bad days where I've lost $500-$600 in a day, or even more. Just recently, like the last 2 weeks, it was down, and this week I just regained all my losses. So I'm back at a neutral, if you want to go based on that. So, and now I'm back on the journey to see if we can make it higher. And it's not something that I'm in control of. I'm not in control of the stock market. I'm in control in where I put my money, but I'm not in control of the companies and how they perform. I may have 0.00000 point stake in it. I may get to vote on their decisions and stuff, but I don't have no control. And the things that I don't have no control over, I don't worry about. I keep it. I acknowledge them. I understand them, and I let them run their course. Because whether it comes out as a positive or a negative, I'm still gonna be okay. I'm still gonna understand. I'm still gonna be able to adapt. And if it turns out the information is negative, I'll chalk that up as a bad day and figure out how to have the next day be better. I'm not saying be 100% positive. Allow yourself some negativity. Allow yourself some time to be honest, be realistic. And sometimes negative thoughts are the most honest and most realistic of a situation. Of course, we want to be positive all the time, quote unquote, but is that really conducive? Because what are you comparing it to? What are you comparing it to? So it's okay to have bad days. Stop assuming others don't just because you don't see it. Again, you don't know what's going on in people's lives for real. You don't know. No one knows. Some people don't even know what's going on in their own lives. And they're walking around with a facade saying, oh, everything is positive, everything is great, but they don't even know that things is crashing and burning at home. Things are bad. So don't compare yourself to other people, and understand that you're allowed your bad days. We're all allowed bad days. We're all allowed positive days. We're all allowed mistakes. We're all allowed to grow. We're all allowed to be on our path. And I think that's the beauty of life. Everyone is on a different path. Everyone has the same. Everyone wants roughly the same outcome, but everyone's on a different path. And you might be on that highway and see somebody speed past you, right? And then you might catch up to that person because they got pulled over by the cops. Now, yeah, they may have gotten ahead a little bit, but now they're behind because they didn't do what was best for their own personal journey. The world is harmony. As long as you're doing your part, what you believe is best for you, and you're not hurting other people or jeopardizing, your morals, your beliefs, I think you should be all right. I believe you should be okay. The last part of this one, he says, also keep in mind, if we do the same thing every day, we'll get the same results. So if your funk is lasting a bit longer, then it should switch up your game plan until you see the change. Yes, we all are 100% allowed to change the things that we're doing. If you're not seeing the results, change it. Change it. Don't waste time. Don't waste time thinking, all right, this is going to work this time. This is going to work. That's gambling. That's gambling. Oh, I'm just going to keep betting black. I'm just going to keep betting black, and it's hitting red every single time. It might hit black 2 times in a row. You like, all right, good, this is working. Then it's going to hit red 6 times in a row. And now you back in the negative. Change it up. Bet on red, bro. Like, what are you doing? Or maybe don't bet so much at one time. Don't bet so much at one time. It's a 3-bet rule, man. You're supposed to bet a third of what you're willing to lose every three bets. So that only takes 1 bet for you to be back up. So you could lose 2 in a row. You could lose 2 in a row, and that third one you're gonna be right back even. Or you can win the first one and then lose 2, and you're still right back even. It's all about money management. It's all about money management. People are just betting loose. You know what I mean? If you're a diehard Colts fan, right? If you're a diehard Colts fan, you know your team is trash, stop betting on them, bro. Don't bet on that team. It may be your team, but it's not conducive for you to bet on them. It's not. Hold on, y'all. It's not conducive. I'm getting a call. This is kind of impromptu. I am going to kind of get off. I'm gonna kind of get off. My boy is calling me. Boy Champ Els is calling me. Matter of fact, let me just answer it. Yo, what's good, Brody?
What's good, my guy? Yo, I had to do a overnight last night, and I was supposed to pull up on you this morning, and I just got off.
Yeah,
just right now. And I forgot to text you last night, so my fault on that, bro.
Nah, you good, bro. You good.
Yeah, but what's your day looking like? Just so I can see if I can still pull up over there, or if I need to just reset for another day.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna take me 2 hours to come out there. So.
Yeah, you probably reset for another day because you remember you were supposed to come in the morning. I got some plans later on in the day.
Yeah, I know, man. That's why I as soon as I got locked in, basically I told you I was working at a medical delivery job.
Yeah, facts.
It's a federal job, so once I'm doing it, I can't be on the phone.
Yeah, so facts. Yeah. So good, bro.
I got off. Yeah, so I was like, let me call this nigga real quick. But we'll reset for another day, bro, because I already knew you had something to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, let me call this nigga as soon as I get off, see what the timing is and shit, boy. All good, man. Yeah. I just wanted to communicate with you, though, man. But yo, you good though?
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you about that story in a minute. Don't say nothing, cause I got you on. I'm kind of recording the video and shit right now. But
yes, sir. You already know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna update you on that situation too, though.
Say less. All right, bro. Just hit me.
Yo, do your thing.
I bet.
All right. So, yeah. Yeah, I had plans this morning with my mans, but things change, and you know what? That's fine. That's fine. Stay positive, man. Not necessarily stay positive, but understand the negativity, man. Don't let it consume you. Understand and even understand the positive too. Understand why you being positive. Understand how your positivity is affecting you and how your negativity is affecting you. All the same. And be honest with yourself. That's all you got. And that's it. I think that's the end of this episode. Episode 41. Sometimes we suffer. Sometimes we need to suffer. I agree. Sometimes we do need to suffer. Oh, the quote. I'm gonna read the quote. Sometimes we do need to suffer, and sometimes we need to grow. And it says, "Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. It is a bitter potion by which the physician within you heals your sick self. Therefore, trust the physician and drink his remedy in silence and tranquility." So as you suffer, and know that you're growing. Know that you're growing. When you break a bone, it's painful, but that bone needs to grow back. When you break in generational curses, it's painful, but them curses need to break. Things need to change. Don't keep doing the same things over and over and over and over, knowing you're not getting the results that you want. Got to change it up. Got to change it up. Do what's best for you. You know what I mean? And if what you originally thought was best for you is not working out, change it up. Change it up now while you still have time. Because like he said, we don't know how much time we have. Nobody knows how much time they have. So what we got to do is adapt, realign, and lock in. Other than that, I think that's it. Episode 41. I'm in a groove. I might record episode 30. That's 30. Episode 42 today, and just drop all 3 back to back. I don't know. Depends on how I feel. But appreciate y'all. Stay positive.